So today I had an interesting example what I've been talking about, how most people have no clue to what Zyn is or nicotine pouches. I went to, for the first time, it was a senior center in the city where I live. And we were just looking at the facility, something just for my wife and I to do. And they had different exercise programs and different book groups and games and things like that. Things that I'm actually not interested in, but I suspect my wife would be. And I thought, "Oh, well, let's go look at the place." Well, we joined up because it was a it was a local thing. We felt good supporting it, and my wife felt she would use some of the facilities, and there were some things I might have done, but when we were about to leave, there was a seminar that was starting. Or it wasn't even a seminar; it was a group discussion. I thought, well, this would be a good way to see, who comes here, and it was on political issues of the day. Now, I stay out of politics to every step that I can. I don't want to. I mean, at first, I can't stand to get into political discussions. I don't want to share my political views because I don't want to turn off half the population. Because no matter what side I'm on, I'm offending half the people. So, and I want to help people no matter what political side they're on, no matter what their religious beliefs are, so I don't share anything like that. Uh, so I went into this and explaining to him at that time that, I wasn't sure I was going to be here and I wasn't sure how long I was going to stay. I really avoid political stuff, but he was saying, no, he keeps it neutral. And he was good. He was very good at what he did. And it turned out he was a journalist, a retired journalist. And so we sit in. Now, I was going to keep quiet, although I was going to bring up some topics that were on the political aspect that were neutral. But then he somehow, it was getting near the end, he somehow brought up, like, or he did, and then other people were bringing up, like, oh my God, they can't believe that people still smoke with so much information that people are still smokers. And at first I wasn't going to say a word. I was going to keep my mouth shut. And I knew my wife would be horrified if I actually spoke up, but they kept on kind of addressing this different people about, how could people still be doing this? And he was a person who had quit like 30 some years ago. And finally, because it was still going on, oh, the problem about smoking, my wife finally kind of nudged me and said, go ahead. She gave me the okay. So I went into the discussion and didn't even say who I was at the beginning, and I wasn't going to. I was just going to point out, like, you're all really concerned about the smoking issue, and I know where their concern is coming. It's from their children or their grandchildren because these people didn't smoke. None of them smoked. Not uncommon for this age group. They're past the smoking time period. Uh, you know, so anyway, uh, I went into, smoking really is, declining, but that's not really the problem. And then I said to the group, I think there were 12 of us there. I said, have any of you ever heard of Zyn or nicotine pouches? They all blank. Never heard of it. Just no clue that this stuff existed. And someone finally said, "Do you mean patches?" I said, "No, pouches." And they had no idea. So I broke into this whole thing about the issue. And it would seem like, why am I kind of alarming 70-year-old people who don't smoke and are never going to smoke? Because these are 70-year-old people who have children who are probably in their 40s, maybe 50s, and they have grandchildren. And they don't even know this problem exists. They weren't concerned in the beginning as I was trying to explain this issue because, oh, they don't have to worry about this. Their grandchildren don't smoke. Yes, they don't smoke, but they're taking on a product that has all the problems that are happening with these products, happening sooner, forming addiction faster, creating tolerance faster, and causing a whole slew of medical issues. I said, I don't know what the mortality rate's going to be of this thing, but I could see what the initial reactions and the problems that they're having and explain. They're going to, hospital ER rooms with all these complaints, and adults don't know about this, including the doctors at the emergency room. They don't even know what some of the things that are happening to these patients because they're unaware of the product. Anyway, it was just the first time I did this in a public setting of any kind because I don't do stuff in public anymore. I do everything online, and the interest was high. I had to, and the moderator of the group is horrified because if I was running a class on uh, smoking, and somebody came in and did what I did, which I understood as it was happening, change of direction onto politics, I would have been, really pissed about that because, they're taking my time. And I tried to keep it short. I really did, but it was a lot to cover, and they kept asking questions, and he was trying to get the group focused back again. Anyway, I wrote him an apology letter and explained, how that happened, and that if I were to come back, I wouldn't do it again. But it just showed kind of the just total lack of understanding about this product and how important it is. And again, I wanted them to know so they could help alert their children to help alert their grandchildren and be aware of what's going on. Because if there is any type of intervention that they can do before they are using, it's important. It was an important topic. Anyway, it was just an interesting little side note of what happened today. And again, if you have children in your life or, even younger than the age that they're normally going to initiate, try to help them understand. They're going to have peer pressure pushing this. They're going to have online influencers trying to push them to tell them this is a harmless, safe, good product that's going to make them better in so many ways. It is going to destroy their lives in so many ways we don't know yet. And the way we know to avoid all of that is to try to help people understand that to stay free, all they need to do is make and stick to a personal commitment to never administer nicotine from any source.